Hey everyone, welcome back to Market Mama's channel. For those of you who are just finding us for the first time, my name is Kendra and I live in California and I'm a day trader.
And I am Becky, and I live in Oregon and also a day trader. And Kendra and I actually met first in an online community where we were both newbies, totally new to the stock market and learning from the ground up. And we sort of have fostered a relationship from there and had an accountability partnership and found such value in that. And so now here we are bringing your value to the wider audience to see what we can add.
Yeah, we were super excited to start this podcast and, just be the voice for other traders out there like us, lady trader, mama traders, and then just all traders that are embarking on this very hard, difficult, challenging roller coaster of a journey. So we've created many videos by now, various topics, various interviews, lots of good books we title our must reads. And so one of the things that Becky and I always, find at the end of recording is we just don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to recap like all the aha moments, especially when we do interviews, because we're just always trying to max out our day and schedule everything like to the T, literally. So we really wanted to come on and just, share some of our most recent, really highlights and takeaways that we got that we just thought, we could further dive into and just discuss with you all. So one of our really, really exciting videos that we released not too long ago was our day trading coach, Z, and he lives in Israel. And we had it's like our longest episode with him, right, Becky?
Yeah.
I mean, like almost like 50 minutes. So that was pretty cool. And we could have went on and on and on, but again, we had time constraints. So I feel like that for me was probably one of the most impactful interviews we've done, just because it was almost like as we were recording, as we were in the interview, I felt like I was literally just having my own revelation. I mean, Z talked a lot about who's showing up to the market, right? Like, is this person making money? Is this person profitable? Is this person ever going to make money and ever going to be profitable? And I love how he highlighted how it's different for everyone. And, one of the terms that I had often used in my own journey was like self-sabotage. And I really loved how he clarified that, yeah, we all say self-sabotage, but what it really is secondary gains. And that was just like an aha moment for sure. And like one of the things that I realized was, okay, so I took those two things and I really just thought on it, for a couple of weeks. And then I came to my own revelation and understanding that my secondary gain that I was seeking was safety. And I love how he clarified that it's not the money, because we're traders, we're losing a lot of money. I don't want to say losing, we're investing a lot of money in ourselves, right? But that's just part of the game. But more so than that, it was seeking out the safety, wanting to be in a state of certainty, wanting to be in a state of not feeling like I was being disciplined, and that almost kind of turned me into this trader that was only allowing herself to participate to a point and then like running out of the arena. So it was just not healthy. It was not allowing me to fully use my skill set, to fully trade my trading plan, and to fully reach my potential. And it was making me essentially a break-even trader, where I would have green days. But even on the green days, I was not fully taking what the opportunities were presented to me. I was, getting out of my positions too early and then running away with my profit and not allowing myself to, if it was a day I'm reading her well, to participate further. And so anyways, that was one of the big revelations that I had. And it really, because of the depth that he went into, it really helped me to come up with, okay, what is an actionable plan I can actually do to change this pattern, to change who's showing up every day, to break through, those limiting beliefs and actions, essentially. And I realized that one of the biggest things that had happened was we've talked about the funded accounts that Becky and I trade. And we talked about how, the psychology effects from going from trading an eval to going to a performance account. where now, essentially you're not really in a simulated experience. You are having the opportunity to earn real, cash money every day that you could potentially, keep. So that in and of itself was a big challenge for me a few months back, just to allow myself to trade those like I would any other day. And so it was one day I recall where we had, I predicted that it would be a choppy morning. We have all these like tools and things with our understanding of market context that sometimes we can have a good idea of what the conditions could be when we open. And so on that day, I was trading my PA, and I literally I adjusted my, bracket orders. So I would take about half of what my normal profit target would be, because I didn't want to try to take too much on that given day and, give back profit or not have my target hit. And it was great because for that particular morning, that was a strong call. And it was great. It was like, I read her so well. I got in, I took a piece. And so I think from there, it literally just like, I got used to that feeling of just hurrying up, getting in, getting out, taking my small piece, and walking away. And that was appropriate for that particular morning. And it might be appropriate for other mornings, when we have a really tight range. And sometimes we do only have a 1-to-1 setup, and that's just what it is, and we take what we can get. But more often than not, that's not the case. So I really had to just look at so many things within my own performance and what I was doing. And thankfully, I was able to redefine how I'm participating. And so I'm allowing myself to fully participate and to have more, to take more, and realizing that trading isn't about safety. It really isn't. We have to accept that we're in the game of risk, and we can't try to manipulate that feeling. We just have to learn how to serve and support ourselves and grow through it. And so that understanding all came from that interview with Zvi. So it had a great value to my journey. And I hope that others who watched it, like, let us know in the comments, like, if you had an aha moment as well.
Yeah, that is a beautiful example, Kendra, of a revelation that you had. And that's like literally the purpose of what we're doing at Market Mamas, is to try and bring content that we found value in and we think other people will. And the interviews are the most fun for us, because in those moments, it's not Kendra and I opening our discussion. It's like a third party. And Zvi he's a real like mindset expert. And that was amazing. I felt like it was like partially like a direct one-on-one for us to be like, but what if this happens? I'm asking for a friend, not me. And so like, way to go in actually like compartmentalizing and thinking and writing out what revelations that brought you to and executing on them, because your trades have been pretty boss lately, and it's awesome. And I really also, Zvi went into multiple different topics on that interview. So we definitely recommend you guys watch it, even though it's a long one, because it's actually really good. Like we definitely could have gone longer, and we're already talking about a part 2 with him. But I really liked how he talked about your reasons for why you're trading, because part of it, he was talking about how we can be so distracted by so many other external forces and wanting to explain away our choices to normalize it for other people who are non-traders. Like, yes, I'm a trader, and no, it's not gambling, and I do have a real edge. And how much money have I made? Well, people don't understand it. And so if you're trying to make other people understand it, that's not really a rationale for why you're doing what you're doing. And it's so much healthier to kind of tune out the noise of people who aren't in the arena or the locker room, as we've said in the past, and how that doesn't actually serve you when you're pushing your boundaries to something harder, because it's such an internal process. And I think for me, I work to combat this, but I think it's normal in our society to constantly be gauging ourselves against the rest of the world and our peers. And for trading, that's really hard to do unless you live in New York and work at a prop firm and all of your friends are fellow traders that sit at your desk, which by and large, that's not most of us. And that's not really who we're speaking to with our Market Mamas community, because they're above us. Let's be real. But so for us, my friends are nurses and moms and like really wonderful people with excellent careers that serve and support our community and their families. but they're not day traders. And so my experiences are just not really going to be comparable. And so with them, I will have, more general discussions about life and family and friends and experiences. But for my trading, I'm going to keep it pretty tight and just work on my own psychology. And that has always served me better in my realm. And it was nice to hear that from him as well, just sort of like you tune it out and prioritize your own mindset, and that will get you much farther in your game and protect your castle. So that's definitely something that I am always mindful of.
Yeah, it is really challenging. He highlighted so many of the psychological factors that affect us so much, but we often don't give them enough attention and just be very cognizant of them and how they can affect us on any given day. So, again, great episode with him, and super happy we brought him on the show, and he found us, which is really cool. Like, Becky and I are super excited. People are finding us now. And it's like, yeah.
Big win.
So, yeah, big wins. So, another really awesome episode we hope you guys enjoyed was our interview with Xavier, aka the Buff Nurse, as he's known on his socials. And wow, that ended up being a pretty long episode too, and just tons of value. His story he shared about essentially turning, his weaknesses or his setbacks, really obstacles, into his fuel, and being able to really harness that strength and, just wrap it all in like grit and determination and just like overcoming. I mean, that's like what we're all about. And I didn't even expect any of that. It was a huge, so he really blessed us with that, his personal accounts of, using the incident that had happened to him, with the injury when he was a child, and then, the challenges when he, was in college. So that was super inspiring. And then just the way he described how embracing your full identity. And that's something that Becky and I have really worked hard to do. And as we've tried to expand our identity and grow, we don't always feel like doing it. And that's one of the things I love that he brought up was like, I don't always feel like doing it. It's hard, but guess what? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to keep showing up. And that's how we really gain true confidence. That's how we stack that evidence, we stack those habits. And that was just a really good testimony to the growth mindset and the determination that it takes. And that's why I knew he would be a great fit for our show. And then another topic, Becky, which I want you to talk about, because I know we've both we challenged with this because we are trying to do so many things. But one of the things he talked about towards the end was now being at the point where he was kind of ready to not be spreading himself so thin, to kind of really, kind of really decide, so he can grow greater in the areas that he wants to have the most impact in. And that's an achievement because, he's able to do that now, having, grown his following, having really grown, his brand. And so now he can kind of scale back on like the nursing side of his life and really pour into, the community he's building. And that's something, Becky and I are aspiring to as well. So we can grow greater and bigger.
Yeah, we've had multiple discussions over the last couple of years about dialing in our priorities, because we want to do everything all the time, and it's annoying to have to sleep and like grocery shop and clean, because we want to be studying the charts and back testing and trading and podcasting and researching how to podcast. And you also want to be a good parent and create these lasting big memories with your families and carve out that time, but then not while you're doing that have some guilt about what else you should be doing. And so I love that he has put in the effort he has put in and has really seen growth and blossoming in his life. And then in that place, he realized that certain things stood out to him as his main loves. And he knows, I believe, that where he wants to pour his energy and what serves him the most in his heart and his life balance. And we are approaching that pretty rapidly, where we're spread really thin between all of the hats that we wear. And we know what our biggest loves and passion are, with our kids and trading. And then Market Mamas being a labor of our love to try and help everyone else. And so we are definitely in that same state of working on doing what he has done. And he really just normalized so much of our experience, which I'm gonna be honest, Kendra suggested maybe we interview him, and I was like, cool. Can you elaborate on like the plan? And I'm so glad that you were like, yes, let me tell you, because it was actually a super good interview.
I had a master plan. Yeah. I knew he was going to bring value.
Yeah, on point. Because he totally was like, I'm pushing to do great things and I want to have an impact and I want to show people what I have learned and help them grow. And that's exactly what we're doing. So if anyone else is like, what you doing?
Yeah, he was like, when I first tried, he was like, "What do you do again?" And you know, I was like, no, trust me, like it's your mindset. It's what I see you doing in your life. Like you're doing more than the average person. You know, you're not everyone has that inside them to do more. But like Becky was saying, you know, when you have these multiple loves of your life and these multiple passions, and it is a big labor of love, but you know, if you can go through that period of being spread extremely thin, of literally wearing like 20 different hats and only being able to like fill each cup like maybe a third of the way, and then feeling guilty over all of the, you know, but trying to just grow and build yourself, you know, then it's rewarding. So talking to him and seeing that, you know, he's been able to, you know, reach, you know, these higher places and now fully step more into his passions and serving, because the whole idea is that he's been able to do all this because he has actually helped and served and grew a community that he is, you know, very, very helpful, like helped me on my journey and so many others. I mean, just like with us and growing this channel and having people from other countries watching us and emailing us, you know, I see when I watch his channel as well, like he has people from everywhere. And when he goes to his events, you know, there's people who recognize him. And I mean, it's pretty awesome. So it's all worth it. Like everything we're doing, interviewing someone like him, it's like, it just shows you like, you know, it can come full circle and, you know, it's not for nothing, which I love to say because it's a simple statement, but it means so much.
Yeah, he was really, really valuable. And I wasn't anticipating the true value of it, but I was really, really enjoyed that conversation. And I think that everyone else will too. So I'm really glad that we're like open to receiving whatever might come into our lives and add value. And I think that that's such an uplifting way to approach anything in life. I mean, trading or just general life momentum. And he really gave us some energy when he talked about how it's normal to not always be perfect and not always be on point. And there's going to be days where you just don't want to run, or you have a day where you're sick and you can't show up and do what you normally do. And then you start to rationalize not doing it. And maybe you fall off of your game for whatever reason. External forces constantly are challenging us at maintaining our discipline and our routines. But that's normal. That's normal life. We are humans and that's going to happen. And so in those moments, you can fall and then recommit and get right back at it. And your journey is not less for that. It's just more beautiful, more complex, more valleys and peaks. And he really was a good example that we need to remember always.
Yeah, literally. I feel like we're all just so close, like one decision from, you know, losing our motivation or our momentum and then feeling guilty over it. And then that leads to another decision and before you know it, you know, this beautiful routine or regimen you built for yourself is slowly kind of deteriorating. And, and so okay. For those of you who don't know, I'm a special needs mom. And so my younger son presents a lot of challenges at times, but it goes through cycles. So I'm blessed that it's not all the time. But I had a really difficult month and it caused me to kind of fall off my routine for waking up. I am an early bird. I've just always been an early bird by nature. I love waking up at 4:30 in the morning. I love that I don't have to. I can probably wake up by 5:30 and still do enough to prepare. But when I have that extra hour, it's like peaceful, it's empowering. It just sets me up. It sets me up great. And so I had fallen off from that because I literally couldn't, because we were having some sleepless nights. And sure enough, you know, when things kind of settled back down and got back to routine with my son, that was wonderful. But I didn't. And I was still pushing that extra hour because I kind of started telling myself, oh, you know, well, you know, you're fine. You know, you survived that period, you know, not waking up at 4:30. And so I had fallen off probably maybe about a month or so. I'm not sure. And so, again, when Xavier talked about how easy it is to fall off but how it's like, okay, this is my identity. I just do it. it was another like ding, ding, ding. I was like, you need to recommit for
Mm.
30 because that's when you feel the best. That's when you just are able to achieve just more, and it's pouring into me. It's just really a way to love myself. And it's different for everyone. Some people are more nighttime people, right? Like night owls. Some people are more productive later in the day in the afternoons. I start to slowly decline. I mean, by 8 p.m., I'm like pretty much like my functioning level is in the ground. Like I need to go to bed, So for me, that works for me. But I just loved how he really reminded us that hey, it's easy to fall off and it's easy to lose that sense of that identity. But like Becky said, you can always restart, recommit, and come back even better.
Yeah, it was really valuable. And we also recently had our first repeat guest, which is Phil, our friend. Our friend Kendra's longtime friend, and then he originally came on and just talked about his day trading career, and we sort of compared notes there and where he's at in his journey. And then when we had our funded trader company discussion a couple weeks ago, he just had so many more thoughts. And we're like, let's talk more because and I really enjoyed how he came on and spoke about the different platforms, because Kendra and I only predominantly have experience with Apex, and he has more experience with other companies and trading them in a different way and different risk management. And so that one also was a good, like, it's nice for us to figure out like what topics really like open up and have room for expansion, and then we can like grow on them. And so that was a good opportunity for us to bring back someone that you guys have met here before, and then delve more into different styles with something that's a really hot button topic for us. And so if you haven't checked that one out, like also it's a good opportunity to get more into a topic that we really want to be cognizant and careful with.
Totally. Yeah. Phil, thank you so much, Phil, for coming on again to our show, being a repeat guest and always adding so much value, and got some good comments from that episode as well. So what else? Becky and I had our first vacation. Well, our first cruise vacation, I should say. And wow, it was awesome. We were really blessed to have good weather for like 2 out of the 4 days.
Most of
Right?
it.
No, well, most of it. We got to the airport at Long Beach and it was cloudy. And I was like devastated because I had promised Becky sunshine. She's coming to California, and it had been like so hot the previous week. And I'm like in Northern California, so Southern California used to be like hotter than us, and lately the weather's just been so like weird and wacky. But we get there and it's like cloudy, and we're in our shorts, and I was like, Becky, I swear the weather, like the sun's coming out, like it will come out. And so we take our Uber, and we finally get to the port, and lo and behold, once we're on the ship, the beautiful sun comes out, and it was gorgeous. So it was gorgeous the first day. We had sun in both of our ports. Oh, but it was interesting at Catalina. Like again, it looked like it was going to be a super cloudy day, and so we were like super bummed, because we had wanted to wear our summer clothes and just be in the warm, sun when we got off for port. And again, like when we got off of that ferry to get on to Catalina Island, the sun came out, and we were in our like sweaters and our yoga pants.
I mean, the weather was a bit tricky because it was like literally I packed all shorts outfits and like a swimsuit for every day, and I wore like half of my summer clothes, and that was pushing it with cold legs. But it did. We were like, well, I guess we'll just deal with the clouds. It's fine. And then the sun just came out for us 3 out of 4 days, and it was like, it's shining on us. We're doing good work, and we deserve this time.
Yes. And then in Mexico, we got it right. It was like sunny all day. So that was amazing. And Becky and I did this awesome ziplining adventure, which it was more than I had bargained for sure. Cause I've done like, the little zips in the jungle in, Cancun, Playa del Carmen area. And this was like nothing like that. I mean, we traveled up like a big mountain. We were up high, y'all, like really high. It was beautiful view, so scenic. And these zip lines were long and high. And we hiked to each one, and it was an adventure. It was a workout, and it was awesome. So we had a lot of fun. And then my other highlight of that was just being able, since we did have the nice sun, just being able to lay out with Becky and just relax and just have girl talk. And just it was fun. It was a good time to just decompress and, invest in ourselves.
Yeah, Kendra and I really, we've said it earlier in this episode even, but we really spread pretty thin most days. We just pivot all the time from trading to kids to market mamas to kids to trading to cooking to cleaning. And then we just crash when we have nothing left to give. And then we get up when our alarms go off. And so this time, I think we really did a good job, Kendra, of unplugging. Like it's kind of a beauty in the cruise world that we had no internet and no cell service for almost the entire trip. And so it was like we just really, the forces were around us to just enjoy each other and just talking and having fun and shopping and enjoying the sun. And it was really nice to relax. And I do think that there is something to that saying, like work hard, play hard, and work to live, don't live to work, because we do work really hard and it's because we love what we do. But it was really nice to just like unplug and enjoy sitting and talking about whatever our hearts felt like pouring out at that moment in a safe, wonderful place. We're so tight now. It was nothing was off the table. And then the zip line, like, let's get a little adrenaline in there because let's be real, we are day traders. So let's jump off a mountain 5 times.
Dancing.
Perfect. Oh,
I always say it's not vacation if you don't dance. So we definitely got
every night
time in and got dressed up, and it was fun because again, mom's busy. Like I'm always in just like casual like workout clothes, and I know Becky, same with you, and work clothes. So it's fun to get dressed up and get fancy and be served like yummy food and drinks. So it was a treat. So definitely first of many.
Yeah. It was a good kickoff to summer also, because we came back and now we're already in the last push of like getting our kids through the end of the school year things. There's celebrations, and like this morning was crazy hair day. And so I was trying to trade while styling my children's hair. And there was a moment where I was trading distracted, and that actually wasn't a great idea for me. And, it was a lesson day. But these are just the days of our lives right now. And pretty soon it'll be summer and I won't have to put them on the school bus in the middle of my morning trading session. And instead of having them gone for 7 hours at school, they'll be home. So a routine change always just throws a wrench in what we're used to. And we just pivot with that. So I'm coming into summer as a mom, like excited and ready to just channel the deep breaths and have more fun memories with them during the day, and also just a different priority. And that's just sort of what it has to be when you're like a working parent.
Yeah. Yeah. Summers can be a challenge because, we come from this like very structured, schedule, which is great because it builds in those breaks that we need to take and those pivots that we have to make. And so summer can be a little tricky because you might have extra time to sit at your charts, even though you should pivot and go make a nice breakfast, a better breakfast that you might be able to make on a regular school day, or, just be able to have more quality time. But it can be a challenge. It can be a tug of war because we love trading and sometimes that pool is just very strong. So I try to, in the summer, really, make it a point, at least like one day out of the week to just like get out of the house, like day trip with the kids, and then, we always do like a summer vacation for like a longer amount of time. But, it's really important in summer to really try to just pull that balance back in and recognize that trading's not going anywhere. School will be right back up in no time. So just, try to make the most of it, make the best of it. And we've gotten better for sure. We've definitely gotten better.
Yeah, it'll be fine. We're getting used to these pivots. Life is never boring and you're constantly just adjusting to what is thrown in front of you. And, there's a lot of opportunity in that. And so it's going to be great.
Totally. It is going to be great. Awesome.
Thank you for being here with us at Market Mamas. We really enjoy just being a place where we can talk about the life of a day trader and, our experiences growing through all of this and what we're experiencing in the moment and day to day and how we're pivoting and expanding our own horizons and seeing how we can offer the best of what we go through to maybe bring more for you guys. So if there's anything we can do better or different, please let us know in the comments. We really appreciate hearing back from people because it's like we're kind of just doing what we think is good because what we think will help. But we definitely are open to guidance if anyone has any ideas.
For sure. And please, guys, check out our website. And we have a merch store. Lots of just awesome things we've created since starting, only 6 months in. So lots more to come. And yeah, thanks for finding us, and come back and hang out with us. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.